Hey guys, welcome to another news breakdown here on Sotopop. Alright, as always, I'm your host of Frozen Stratos, and today we're going to be taking a look at all the Shodo news that came out this week. Sadly, nothing else in the Shodo or Yudo spaces, but we've got a slightly packed show and tons of information, so let's dive right into the Shodo01 blog, except it isn't, because screw 01, we're heading straight back to some Kamen Rider Geo stuff, because we haven't gotten enough of that. Sorry to the 01 fans, but I'm kind of into this. Trashbag Boss is here, and he's able to do all of his forms. So that means you can throw his cape off, and you can turn his chest into a barrage of missiles. So this piece here, it actually, is a separate piece and has the molding underneath that sticker for all you painters out there. It is very intricately molded, and they even made the consideration of putting like the negatives of the missiles on the backside of the chests, so I really love that detail here. Another thing that they wanted to note about this figure was that this is the most PVC they've ever put in a figure to date. So that means we've got like the entire back cape. That is all in PVC. That could have just been in regular plastic and I would have been fine with it, but they went above and beyond. And specifically with these guys, they had a lot more molded in detail that they were able to capture with PVC, and I think it really works here. And since it is PVC, all the gold trim there has to be painted in, so I'm sure that's another added cost to that. So definitely love the look of this stuff. Aces, thumbs up all around. Anyway, another thing to note about this figure is that they used a new, well, I wouldn't say new, but they used a different technique than they ever have in Shodo, I guess. So they did this sandblasting effect. Now, what it does is it's like a sanding type of situation where basically they blast it with sand. I mean, that's kind of what it says. But it makes it so that it gives it more of a matte finish. And I know that with O's, they specifically left out the polishing pass on O's to give it a bit more of a matte feel, but this time they deliberately went through another process to give it that look, and I'd say it works here. You can see the difference in the pectoral and like the strap that goes to the pec, highlighted in these two images. So that's sort of your difference, the gloss versus the sandblast technique. I'm sure it'll look a lot better in person as well, so I can't wait to get my hands on this. Also, just to note, this figure, among all the other movie riders, they were pushed back, and I feel like, with the PVC on top of the sandblasting technique, that may have been what pushed a lot of this stuff back. And I'm wondering if there are going to be any other sort of interesting processes or interesting milestones these figures hit just because of the, I don't know, just the scope of their suits' designs. So yeah, we'll definitely see what happens there. Next up, oh wait, is that it? Yeah, that's actually it. That's all we have for this guy. So yeah, I love Trashbag Waz. I went all the way around from hating him to very much liking him, so I can't wait for this figure. Again, sorry to all the 01 fans out there. Anyways, that's it for him. Let's dive right into what we got out of the Shodo Chronicle side of things. And this week we are finishing out Chronicle O's 2, Combo Change 2 with PuToTyra. So, PuToTyra has a few sort of considerations with this one, like 4 little bullet points that they wanted to hit. So, the main one, this first one, is that the head is actually made out of PVC. We saw last week that Shouta definitely wasn't, or at least the face wasn't. And normally they do that with the fins since they protrude enough, but this one protrudes far further out, so much so that they had to make they had to separate this into two separate molds. The pterodactyl head, or the pterodon head, that's actually a separate piece, and then the wings, that's all one piece. And you know, it looks really good. It looks really sharp. Another thing to note, again, like I've been saying these past 2 weeks, all the PVC in this set is going to have to be in clear plastic. So they went through purple, gold, and green paint on this. So I'm sure this ate up a lot of the budget. Speaking of which, the next thing they wanted to hit was the PVC wings. Another thing that's probably going to eat up a lot of budget. So yeah, you're able to... These are malleable like they would be in the show. And also fully painted on either side, so back and front. They didn't have to, but they certainly did, and I'm very happy about it. The next thing they wanted to talk about was the fact that this guy is very different in terms of how they decide to mold it. Each of the O's figures, they generally have... they're generally sculpted in all black, but considering he had a lot of purple, they did a sort of half and half mold. Half of it is in purple, half of it is in black, and it definitely works here. So much so that they showed us a, you know, sort of naked version without all the stickers, and he looks like, you know, pretty much the most complete without his stickers. Things that they wanted to highlight with the mold are that the coin, the chest coin, is raised and very different from all the other O's figures. The shins, those are fully painted in that nice shimmery purple, and then the legs, like the thighs and the crotch, that's all painted in white, and it's a matte white to fit with the rest of the in-show design. So yeah, that was a pretty big one for them. Again, eating up budget with this guy. Lots of stuff here. The next thing they showed off was the I've Meta Gabriel, I think was the name. There's actually an interesting story to this. This bullet point was all about how, yeah, this sword, or this gun axe thing, has no meat removal. So when they were first talking to Mr. S, no relation, from Mega House, he had initially asked if they could take out chunks of the mold of this, so that they could make it a bit easier for them to mold it into production, put it into production, and it would be covered with a sticker anyway, so there's no need to have it there at all. But due to what people have been putting in the surveys and saying, wow, hey, really love the Chronicle toys because none of them have the meat removal, they said, alright, well, we are committed to doing this without meat removal. So they broke this up into 3 separate parts. They said they had to squeeze the mold for 3 separate parts, but they were able to make it happen, and the result is pretty phenomenal. So when you get yours, make sure to take a look at those, because they put a lot of hard work into that. So yeah, that's it for the gun and axe weapon. And mind you, they broke it up into 3 parts each, so each of these has 3 parts. That's 6 parts total, and they had to fit it into the mold. So yeah, anyways, that's it for that point. And I think really the next thing here is just the movie special set. They showed off some of the inclusions with the tail, the wings, and the horns. And lastly, since we got our full reveal of him, they gave us the unblurred image of this rider kick. And another thing, as an addendum to this set, since it's coming out now, you can actually, the flip side of that stand actually has a 3mm peg, and you can put it into the stands if you want. I don't know why you would, but you can. Yeah, so do this if you would like. You can daisy chain them together, it seems like, because, you know, some of those don't have that base stand. You can put them on top of each other. I don't know why you would do this, but you can. And you know what? That's good enough for me. Anyways, guys, that's about it for all the Soda news that happened this week. Except toward the end of it, there was a little tease from D-Man, and now he's the one that does the Chronicle stuff, and Shodo, mind you, shodo-x and Chronicle. But he works on Chronicle, and he said, I mean, it translates to great, but I ran it through Google Translate, and I also asked Malunis. It said, Subarashi! Some wonderful information is going to be coming, and that is in like a dark green, like a foresty green. Malunis was thinking that might be teasing birth. Who knows? Maybe. I'm looking forward to possibly a birth, proto-birth, and then also the whole scorpion thing. But, you know, take this with a grain of salt. Keep your expectations very low, because you never know what's gonna happen. Anyways, guys, that's it for the news this week. If you like this episode, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to hear more from us each week. Tell us in the comments down below what you're most excited for. And actually, there's gonna be a video coming up, I believe tomorrow, with me and Malunis talking about our thoughts of Toy Fair that happened this weekend. So if you want more toy stuff, that's going to be coming throughout the week. So definitely subscribe if you haven't already. Guys, thanks for watching. Keep it juicy.